In this video, I will talk about how religion has had an effect on indie games and their themes. I will talk about ULTRAKILL, Blasphemous, and The Binding of Isaac. All three of these games are some of my favorites, and I hope you either choose to play them or have a deeper understanding of the games mentioned. That's all for the intro, let's get started. ULTRAKILL is a fast-paced first-person shooter with buttery smooth movement and a rich weapon combo system. The main gameplay of ULTRAKILL revolves around these 3 points: speed, carnage, and style. Speed is focused on through the movement system of sliding, jumping, and grappling, all of which come together to make a fluid movement system. Carnage is shown through a wide cast of enemies, and style is helped with a large amount of weapons available, from a laser pistol to a blunt jackhammer. Some pros I found especially prevalent in ULTRAKILL are its aforementioned movement system, its well-crafted enemy designs, its dynamic setting design, its rich yet simple combo system, and the chill-inducing voice acting. The only real con I noticed when playing ULTRAKILL is that the setting can sometimes be a little confusing, as well as the story being told through text blocks. Religion in ULTRAKILL is often shown through its names and designs of characters. One main character, which has very obvious Christian influences, is Gabriel, which is named after the Archangel Gabriel. Christianity is further shown through the Latin cross on his helmet, the nimbus that surrounds his head, which is a sign of holiness in Christian art, and his angelic wings. Furthering the Christian themes in ULTRAKILL, Leviathan's name is taken directly from the Bible, as well as the virtue's design is clearly influenced by the Ophim, which is the wheel angel, and also on layer 7, which 7 is considered to be the perfect number in Catholicism, has plenty of Latin crosses. Blasphemous is a Metroidvania Souls-like, filled with Spanish influence, set in the grim world of Custodia. Some pros are its in-depth lore, which is a commonly praised aspect of the game, as well as the well thought out and symbolic character designs of both enemies, bosses, and NPCs, as well as the voice acting is quite immersive. It really adds a lot to the story. The rich inventory system allows for multiple play styles, and finally, the gorgeous pixel art. I think that it's probably the best part of this game, and it's a large influence on my own personal pixel art. Some cons are player communication is very lax. For instance, finding bosses is really confusing. Advancing to the Wounds of Evertide DLC content is also near impossible, I'd say, without using a guide. And also how some boss attacks work are confusing. And then the final thing I wanted to add is that controls are a little stiff, and when there's a lot of verticality in many levels, it can really hurt the gameplay experience. Blasphemous' story is a critical view on the guilt that is associated with religion. This is shown through the grievous miracle, an eldritch force that twists and disfigures to the pleasure and acceptance of the people of Custodia. This guilt is also shown through the main character's only known moniker of the Penitent One. The designs and stories of Blasphemous are mainly designed around the Spanish tradition of Holy Week. This can be seen through many characters having a capirote, including the Penitent One, which is meant to represent pointing to God. And it also covers their face as a way to further accentuate that you should be focusing on God. Another thing I would like to add that accentuates the Holy Week theming is that the Paschal is used multiple times. For instance, the Penitent One is placed on one, as well as the Archbishop boss is held similarly to one. The Binding of Isaac is a top-down roguelike bullet hell game where you control Isaac, which is a little baby boy and you shoot up monsters with your tears. The pros of the Binding of Isaac are its rich item pool, so every run is different, but also every run is further rewarded with new items depending on which character you reach those achievements with. This allows a large run variety. Another thing that's a pro is the interesting character designs. I think that whoever designed it might have been Edmund, did a great job with the boss designs. They are fun and interesting every time I see them. And despite the repetitiveness of The Binding of Isaac, each run feels different and just as fun as the last. Another pro is the modding scene. Despite the thousands of hours you can have with the base game, the modding scene adds 10 times that. So every run you could play a modded character. You could add accessibility features so it's easier to play. You can change certain boss designs to your liking. Another thing is room randomization. There's a lot of rooms, some with enemies, some with certain buttons that you have to press, with floor hazards, which makes each room feel different. And the final pro is that the game is easy to play, simple four directional movement and shooting, but it's really hard to master. You could play hundreds of hours and still not be able to beat certain bosses on your first try. A con is items are not well described. Many of them just give a title and then a little quip about something that could allude to what it does, but I found myself very confused, and that's why I use a mod to tell me what it does. There are some roadblocks put in place to prevent progression, which I understand why they're in the game. They make it so you can't just get one really good run and then win the entire game. But I also feel like the requirements are not very well revealed to the player. For instance, I found that Mom's Heart was really confusing to me because I tried to fight it, it died, I got in the chest, it ended, and then I did that a couple of times, but you need to kill it 10 times, which I feel like is a bit excessive. There's some bugs with the bestiary, which is important for the progression roadblocks. For instance, Satan, your kill description is never changed. Mine's still 0, and I've killed him probably about 10 times. And also, the spider pathing is just really annoying and confusing. It's not really like doesn't really discredit the game at all. It's just really, really annoying. Religion is a big part in the Binding of Isaac. It's so important, in fact, that it's the name of the game, which parallels the initial story that's revealed where Isaac's mother is planning to kill him. As you continue to play the game, it's revealed that main part of this game is guilt and self-hate. This is shown through sacrifice rooms giving angel room chants, which can be seen as self-harm being a holy action, as well as devils being another common factor in the Binding of Isaac, where he sees himself as evil. This can be further shown through the character selection, where a lot of the characters are evil biblical figures and few of them are positive ones. Dogma being a boss is a obvious reference to religious dogma, which is the reason behind Isaac's self-hate, and many of the endings show Isaac viewing himself as corrupted. Altogether, I feel these games are a lot of fun to play and have an interesting view of religion. Thanks for watching. This is my first video that I've actually put effort into. It's probably gone over in about 2 weeks or so of brainstorming and writing and all of that, and then I played The Binding of Isaac for a couple of weeks and just got back around to it. If you have any suggestions on how I could improve my video quality, that would be really helpful. And I hope you enjoyed.